Welcome back to the One Narrow Gate podcast. We're doing a mini-series called The End of the End. The last two podcasts were about an ancient prophecy that identifies the end of time as we know it. The last phase of human history is identified with the elements iron and clay. You don't want to go away. Stay tuned and let's hear how it all ends. All right, welcome back to the end of the end, iron and clay. We've been talking about a prophecy that indicates the end of time as we know it being a time of transhumanism. Iron and clay, the combination of metal and technology with clay, that's human flesh. So in the first podcast on this series, we saw that the leading technology producers are suggesting we combine with technology to keep up with it. And that's today, even producing devices to merge our bodies with computers. In the last podcast, we saw that the ancient prophecy mentioning iron and clay accurately predicted the empires throughout history ahead of time since 2,600 years ago, but it also gives a shocking future prediction that we should pay attention to. So, or if you remember, there's this dream with different elements pertaining to different phases of human history. It's a statue made of gold, silver, bronze, iron, and then the feet are iron and clay combined. Then a rock comes out of nowhere, smashes the feet at the feet and toes of iron and clay, and the whole thing disintegrates. Then the rock becomes a big mountain and takes over the world. And so this is what it means. We find this in the Holy Scriptures in the Bible, the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verses 44 and 45. Here's the end of the dream and the end of the meaning. This Jewish man Daniel is giving the king of Babylon the interpretation of his dream that he had. It says, "And in the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed, nor shall the kingdom be left to another people. It shall break in pieces all these kingdoms and bring them to an end, and it shall stand forever. Just as you saw that a stone was cut from a mountain by no human hand," meaning that this kingdom was not made by humanity, "and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold. A great God has made known to the king what shall be after this. The dream is certain, and its interpretation sure." Now, this prophecy does not stand alone by itself on some island. It's connected to many prophecies that are about the end of the world as we know it from the same source, and this same source is the Bible. I don't care how you feel about the Bible. The Bible predicted ancient empires and even current events. Over and over again, it's predicted the future. So it's a guarantee that the final kingdom, the God of the universe will set up, is bound to happen. It's basically the God of the universe who made everything telling us what's going to happen. It's pretty merciful if you think about it. And he's saying that the end of time, this iron and clay strategy will not work. But not only that, at that time, there's going to become this invasion of this rock that's going to smash the kingdoms of the world and take it over. Isn't that interesting? And in these other prophecies, there is an individual known as the Rock. Now, this is not Dwayne Johnson, the wrestler and actor, okay? We're not talking about the Rock. We're talking about this other individual in prophecy imagery known as the Rock, or otherwise known as a stone, or known as the cornerstone, or the rock the builders rejected. And who is this rock? This rock is known in his Jewish name as Yeshua. Another way to say it is Joshua. But we also know him as Jesus, which is the Greek version of those names. Jesus. I don't care how you feel about Jesus. All the prophecies about Jesus, the Bible said, came true. There's also forensic evidence that realizes that embraces the truth that Jesus died on the cross, like we see in the imagery, and he came back to life, and over 500 people saw him back from the dead. He is alive, and the prophecy and the prophecies say that this Jesus is coming back. He is the Rock. He is going to smash the kingdoms of the world in the phase and the era of iron and clay and take over the world himself. That's crazy. So, is this saying that during the time of iron and clay, humanity mixed with technology, that Jesus will come back? It seems like it is. And it seems like Jesus will destroy the kingdoms of the world. He will take over the world himself in his own kingdom. With this in mind, what do we do about this? If you truly believe this, because there's so much that goes into this is just the tip of the iceberg. People could spend weeks giving all the evidence that this is going to happen. I'll say this. Here's my advice to all of us now. Before Jesus comes to the world, You want to be on Jesus' side before he returns. You want to be on Jesus' side. He actually already has a kingdom. It's just not ruling the world right now. Jesus' kingdom is against sin. Jesus is against sin. That's why he died on this cross. It's the penalty we all deserve for doing the wrong thing. So these are not just crazy warnings to scare you into fear, but to motivate us into action. The action is to surrender to Jesus and stop doing wrong. Jesus has a kingdom already, but his kingdom will rule over the world. We have to surrender to him. We have to defect to him. This motivates us into belief that the God of the universe had a plan in place before time began and tells us what we can do and what he wants ahead of time. The belief is that God is giving us a chance to make the right choice before the end of the world or before the end of our life, whichever comes first. Instead of being against Jesus or ignorant of Jesus, we need to believe in Jesus. We need to survive his crushing, and we need to be on his side. Jesus himself even said about himself in Matthew 21:44, he said, and the one who falls on this stone will be broken to pieces. And when it falls on anyone, it will crush him. Very much in tandem with this imagery of this dream of the statue, right? Jesus is powerful. We need to be broken and say, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm against you, Jesus, by default. When I'm born, I'm against you. I want to be on your side. I'm sorry that I'm against you. Jesus is powerful, but he is also incredibly merciful and loving to those who surrender to him. And when we do wrong, we're against Jesus. But when we say, Jesus, I can't stop doing wrong, but I need you to help me stop, and I need you to forgive me for the wrong that I do, we can be a part of his kingdom when we have that type of heart. Instead of being defeated by Jesus, we need to surrender to him. We need to say to Jesus, the rock that is coming to smash the world at the time of iron and clay, we need to say to Jesus, Jesus, I give up trying to rule my life and do the things you say are wrong. Please forgive me for doing wrong. I want to be on your side. I believe only you can save me, not just from your invasion, but from death forever in hell. Please save me, Jesus. That's what we need to do. Defect to Jesus' kingdom. Turn to him. It's good to reflect on all this information. This is a crazy podcast. Some of you might be thinking, this is out of control. I can't even believe what I'm hearing. But listen, a tiny prophecy says that in an era of transhuman technology and culture, Jesus will come back to take over the world. How do I feel about this? Who is Jesus? Do I want to be a part of his kingdom or go against his kingdom? Do I even believe this is true? What else do I need to find out and to look up to see if this is true? Listen, whether the world ends or our world ends, we have a choice. Go with the one who can save us or try to save ourselves, even through technology. According to the one who gave the prophecy, trying to save ourselves will not work. For more crazy podcasts like this one, check out more from One Narrow Gate. And feel free to share this with others, if at least for a good reaction. Can you believe this crazy guy? What's he saying, right? But we hope this stimulates good thought, good conversation, good action, and good belief. Okay? Just remember, iron and clay, humanity, and metal combined, but that's going to come to an end, and Jesus is coming back. For more, please stay tuned to the One Narrow Gate podcast.